since we can't build homes, it doesn't mean that we have to stop. When the pandemic hit, we started to hear a lot of news from the villagers. People who lost their jobs were starting to not have enough food to eat. People didn't have enough income. There were also cases they had jobs, but because they didn't have the right PPE, so the mask and hand sanitizers and whatnot, they were either afraid to go out there or couldn't go out there without being caught by the police. And so it was around this time that Zurich also reached out to us and said, hey, we've got Zurich, Malaysia, together with Z Zurich Foundation based in Switzerland, a real boost to helping the communities that we care about. We established 4 pillars that we're looking to focus on. Those 4 areas are not our expertise. Most of our time has been spent, of course, in development, mapping, and infrastructure. And with the tight timeline that we're working with, it was definitely very important for us to leverage off people and organizations that were experts in their areas. Based on the 4 pillars, we started to put a call out to see who would actually like to perhaps rechannel their efforts, if they weren't working Orang Asli already, to the Orang Asli community. And at the same time, we were also actively looking out for people that could really add and add value. With the pandemic, there were a lot of fears, lack of either capacity to purchase some of this equipment in order for them to safely go out to work.
First project was going to the central Pahang area, Bentong, Rob, Lipis, Benta, and so forth. We went to about 12, 15 kampongs. And then on each kampong, there would be an epic rap to explain to them how to use those PPE, sanitizers, masks, and shields.
As a result of the movement control order, many of them who are part-time workers gets cut off from their income sources. There was a need to see what other alternative income sources we could actually create.
Our program was called Program Kerjaya Orang Asli, where what we essentially did was source and vet through Orang Asli candidates to place them with clients who could provide good jobs. And good jobs in this sense means things like, first, of course, the minimum wage is honoured. And apart from that, though, other things as well, such as good management practices, fair contracts, terms and conditions that the Orang Asli would understand. So a huge part of our work was also translating these contracts into Bahasa Melayu and explaining the contract in detail to every candidate so they knew about their legal rights and protections as well. A core part of our work is also training workers. Even things that maybe you wouldn't think of, like emotional resilience, because we understand that this type of work, being away from people that you love, is not easy. So when we started the program, we released an application form on Facebook and we received a total of 130 applicants. By the end of the program, 14 applicants were offered jobs by our clients.
We help Orang Asli mothers by giving them work opportunity in the kampong at the comforts of their home. We applied for the grant to start our mask sewing project in 3 kampongs in Selangor. We were able to purchase 6 sewing machines and also equipment like sewing material to start this project. Kick-started with a bang, I would say. So in the 5 months, we have trained 12 ladies and also done 15 sewing classes.
Why we chose masks was because we noticed that they were spending a lot of money on disposable masks, and that was a huge burden on them. To go to work, they have to pay $1 for a mask. So why not teach them how to make their own mask and they can supply it to their own kampong members.
Yeah, part of the program also was to donate some of the masks that we made during the training to Orang Asli kampongs as well, so that it's from Orang Asli to Orang Asli.
Through these projects of making masks, they've earned 21,000 in a short period of just 5 months.
We knew that there's a short-term need of food aid to help the community, but we also wanted to elevate the whole community by bringing long-term skills that could help them beyond the pandemic.
One of the main things that was troubling a lot of the families was the lack of food. Many of them still can hunt and gather. A large part of their food still comes from the market. Chicken farming, we're working together with Anak Kapung Agro Farm. We established a farm in Selangor, one farm, and another in Johor.
In this program, we are trying to help the community of Orang Asli in terms of economical and social value. For example, in Kampung Peta, we have 10 operators for 10 chicken coops. The farm produce will distribute it to at least 10 other families for community consumption. And for the economical side, they also can sell the chicken to the local people with lower price. And some of them will be sell outside to sustain the program. We also try to give them training, send them or let them to attend poultry farming course. So I hope that they will be side income for them. Basically in Kampung Peta, they are consist of 300 people, more than 100 families. And I will say at least a quarter of that number will be benefited from this food security program.
Saya ucapkan terima kasih pada pihak sponsor lah yang sanggup sponsor seban ayam ni dan bekalan anak ayam pada kami penduduk Kampung Peta ni. Apa yang saya harapkan pada suatu masa akan datang, kalau boleh lah, kita akan menambah baikkan lagi lah reban yang sedia ada ni, ataupun kita akan pembesarkan lagi reban-reban yang ada ni untuk menambah baik ekonomi masyarakat orang asli di Kampung Peta ni lah.
We propose to Zurich to adopt a grant for the greenhouses and also the chicken coops to sustainability . The kampongs in Kelantan are so hard to reach. Like for example, the recipient kampong is Post Brink. It is actually 5 hours off the tarmac road, 10 hours from Kuala Lumpur. Without the Zurich Foundation, maybe it wouldn't be possible.
Many Orang Asli people live quite far away from schools, and also schools were shut down as well. And as a result of that, schools being shut down, they were cut off from their education opportunities, but many of them do not have good connection. Or if they have good connection, they don't have the devices to keep up with the other students as well.
The idea of this community learning hub is that we would be able to create a conducive learning environment for the Orang Asli children. They would be able to learn and to be able to grow even with circumstances in MCO. We managed to find this company in India where they have the technology itself to support zero bandwidth network area. It's a router and it transmits Wi-Fi network. Whoever that connects to the router itself can access to all the content as long as we manage to strong pedagogical content for students to learn.
We are shifting the perspective from doing something for the Orang Asli community to doing something with the Orang Asli community. And trust me, this small change is actually going to make a big difference. With the design of the Community Learning Hub, we can confidently say that at every aspect of implementation, the community is involved. We bring the community members together, we tell them what we are planning to do, we get their input, we reflect on what we are doing, and then we change our input again. And time after time again, we will actually report back to the community members of what their kids are doing in the classroom.
The goal was really to not just look at recovery, to kind of maintain status quo, but also look at it as an opportunity to build resilience within these communities as well. Wherever we could find opportunities to also not just plug in the gap, but also to enhance it so that after the pandemic itself, things could become even better.